Hello. How are you? Wĩ thayũ? Ona niĩ ndĩ thayũ. Gĩtagwo Nyokabi. Mũcera wa mbarĩ ya Mũika. Mũigua na mbũia mbarĩ ya Marigũ. Gacoka kahigĩ ithe kahunwa mbarĩ ya Mũkũnga. Na mũthenya nĩ njugaga nĩ thayũ. Na ndĩrehoka onawe wĩ thayũ. Gacokia ngatho nĩ kũmenyererwo nĩ nyene. Cokia ngatho rĩngĩ nĩ tondũ wa kĩheo kĩa mbura. Na ona manyeni maihũrĩte gũkũ kwĩna mĩcege, mĩkengeria, managu, materere mothe ona twagũra mũtu goro manyeni tũrahota kũrĩa gũkũ arĩa twĩ gĩcagi tũtirĩ na stress ya manyeni. Koguo arĩa mwĩ taũni mwarie na ithuĩ wega tũmũneanĩre manyeni me paso nĩgetha maya ma gwĩkũria gũkũ matikoragwo na ndawa. Maya nĩ ũramenya nĩ kĩndũ fresh ũrĩa tondũ nĩ kĩndũ gĩtahũrĩtwo ndawa nĩ mũndũ. Ndĩ mũkenu nĩ tondũ wagĩthiĩte na mbere na kwĩrorera videos na gũ-subscribe na kũ-like kĩrĩa page yakwa ya Nyokabi Ngatha. Turakura o kahora, slow but sure, but we thank God because we have to trust in the process. And this is Mental Health Awareness Month. Started on 1st, will end on 31st. And when we talk about mental health rĩ, we wĩciragia nĩkĩ? Mental health harĩ niĩ ndĩreciria is the absence of any mental disorder. Na mental health rĩ, it's about how people behave, how people feel, and how people think. Ĩyo nĩyo mental health. Na gũthomaga nĩ ngeragia thikũ ici nĩ ndagĩria mũno gũthoma. Na ngĩthoma ndona mental health awareness month. Ũmũthĩ, yani this month, theme nĩ we are all in this together. You remember the COVID pandemic? Ũrĩa ĩra affectire andũ aingĩ. So andũ nĩ marateire mawĩra, arĩa angĩ nĩ ũndũ wa gũte mawĩra maratigwo nĩ spouses ciao. We had so many cases of people committing suicide because of losing a means of income. The stress levels are still very high tondũ bado economy ya bũrũri ĩracoka harĩa ĩbatiĩ gũkorwo ĩrĩ. Koguo basically we are at a state where the mental health of the people around is not, yani we are facing a very serious issue ya andũ gũkorwo mena mental issues. We have seen couples killing each other. We have seen women killing kids and then they kill themselves. Koguo that shows you that o mũthenya waingĩra online kana woya ngathĩti ũrakora mũndũ mũna nĩ aroragirwo, mũndũ mũna nĩ areyũragire, mũndũ mũna nĩ aroragire ciana na areyũraga. Na you see, the mental health rĩ nĩ topic ĩbatiĩ gũkorwo ĩgĩtĩkwo na a lot of seriousness. Koguo theme ya Mental Health Awareness Month ya mwaka ũyũ nĩ we are all in this together. Koguo what is mental health? Like it's how people think, feel, or how they behave. Or it is the absence of any mental disorder. Na mental disorder rĩ, na many mental disorders nĩ cikoragwo na physical roots. When you see somebody who is having a mental disorder, nĩ cikoragwo na physical roots. That means every mental disorder nĩ ikoragwo na what triggered the mental disorder. Nĩkĩ gĩatũmire mũndũ ũcio akorwo na depression? Nĩkĩ gĩatũmire mũndũ ũcio akoragwo na panic attacks? Nĩkĩ gĩatũmire mũndũ ũcio akoragwo na condition ĩno ĩtagwo bipolar? Hena PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm not an expert, I'm not a psychologist, but I know little about them. Now, when you say that you are mentally healthy, you can only say that you are mentally healthy when you realize your own abilities, to cope with the normal stresses of life. You can say that you are mentally healthy when you are able to cope with the normal stresses of life. How many can cope with the normal stresses of life? Nĩ igana tũngĩhota kũrũgama na tuge we are mentally healthy, that gũtirĩ ũndũ ona ũmwe ũtũgirĩrĩirie gũthiĩ na mbere na mĩtũrĩre itũ, mũndũ atekũnyua njohi, mũndũ atekũhutia bangi, mũndũ atekũhũthĩra mood stabilizers tondũ rĩmwe mũndũ nĩ akoragwo ekĩrĩa you just want some mood alternating things. Rĩmwe gũkora you wake up one day you just feel like you want to drink the whole day. You want to drink yourself to a stupor. Sometimes you wake up and you feel like you want to go to the rooftop and scream your lungs out. You know those days are usually there. No, you just need, you know, you want to scream to the world and just say whatever it is that is torturing your mind. Oh, we are mentally healthy. I would not say that I'm 100% mentally healthy. So those meltdowns, they happen. Those meltdowns happen, but not always. But sasa, for you to be mentally healthy, it's when you are able to cope with the normal stresses of life. Scream. Yes, you will feel that way, but bado, you will still go on with your normal activities. Now here mama tuikaga hit muno ni undu wa maundu maria maratukora muturire-ini. Tariu tungitua ku analyze what causes mental health issues. Niki gitumaga mundu akorwo na mental health issues. We can talk about the economic and financial situations, the way the economy is right now in Kenya, the way the businesses have closed down. And no one has your sukuru. Sukuru mena, they have crazy terms like marahiga thukuru magacoka makahingura. Tareu either no time ino dirabiriirie, they'll go up to July 1st, they close for 1 week and then they open again because they are supposed to end the academic year. I'm not a teacher, but I think they are supposed to end the academic year but this year. Kwa you can see how hectic it is. How mwana uramutura school kaiha school fees agacoka kahiga kaheo break ya just 1 week. Within that 1 week ufati gukorwo wethete school fees na indo iria agacoka nacio school akihigura school iyo. So you see these 2 years have been hectic for both parents and students. Kwa I usually understand ndona andu mena issues na gukorwo ati people are not mentally stable, people are stressed up. You know, you kid kwambia gutaria mwana waku ati ni atariu aria marakoragwo wira hindi ya COVID and then they lost their jobs. Maybe you are ciana ciaku cikarite lifestyle ingi ya igurui, so you lost your job and then your kids had to downgrade. Maybe they were in private schools, private expensive schools, and then they had to go to public schools. Unaona transition ya kuma private expensive schools and to just cheap public schools. Transition hiyo he mwana ni koragwo nayo ina stress. Kwa as much as parents we are stressed, still our kids are very much stressed because the timetable, the curriculum is hectic for them. And that's why only the last time there were so many cases of arson even in schools where they have never experienced burning of schools. The pupils and the students are stressed up because this program is hectic. The parents are stressed up because it's hectic also for them. So that is one reason that is the effect. The COVID pandemic. People lost their jobs. The school curriculum is hectic. Everything is expensive. Everything maguta ma kuruga ni macio matiragurika, maguta ma ngari mo macio magite goro. Everything is expensive. So this economic issue has put a lot of financial strain on people, and we still have to survive. So if you can deal with this, you can manage the normal stresses in life. Consider yourself mentally healthy. If you are not breaking down, if you have not slipped into depression, you are still holding on. Consider yourself mentally healthy. Another thing that can cause mental disorders ne sickness. Mundu agirwara kana a family member arware. Muigira jogigira murimu ne moru waigira muci uninaga indo muci mugima igathira. And worst case scenario, unina indo muci mugima ithire. Also, the sick relative asoke akue. So, in such a scenario, you can imagine the mental state of those people who have been left by the sick person. Kana the mental state of those people aria mena murwaru muci. Kana the mental state of the sick person themselves. Kogo sickness netumaga kugie na mental disorders. Andu ni makoragwo na stress. Ucio murwaru ni akoragwo na stress. Na andu aria maramutikira kiana ni makoragwo na stress. Ucio ni undu ungituma mundu eke atia akorwo na mental disorders. Itagwo mental, ukorwo mentally unhealthy. Now, the other thing that can cause mental disorder or you be mentally unhealthy is assault of any form. Could be physical assault, sexual assault. Mostly sexual assault nä tå maga andå aingä matå re na kä ronda ngoro, magatå ra na machungu. When you've been assaulted sexually as a kid, that thing will affect you all your life until hĩndĩ ĩyo ũkahota kwaria ũndũ ũcio ume ngoro. Koguo sexual assault is another cause of mental disorders that, or maybe let's talk about mental unhealthy. Yani gukorwo utari mentally healthy. The other thing is childhood trauma. The things that you went through as a child could be affecting you even later in life because maybe you have never taken time to address them or you have never healed from the trauma during your childhood. You've never taken back your power. I said that when you go through childhood trauma, you should reach a point in your life where you take back your power and own your story. So it's good to open up, own your story. Just be yourself. Accept the things that you cannot change. You know, the serenity prayer says that God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, to change the things that I can, and to know the difference. I think that's all that you need in this life, to accept the things that you cannot change and to change the things that you can, and to know the difference between the things that you can change and the things that you cannot change. That one is a very expensive gift. Ugĩkona gift ĩyo ati nĩ ũramenya ũndũ mũna ndingĩcenjia, koguo you just leave it there, you just watch ikae ũndũ mũna no njenjie. So you work hard to change whatever you can change. Ũndũ ũngĩ ũrehaga mental issues ni when you lose a loved one. Grief is different and it's personal, and nobody has the right to dictate how somebody else should go through grief. You can grieve for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or you can grieve all your life. So grief is personal according to who left you. So grief is personal. Now you should learn to balance your normal life and the grief, because after all, the person who left would not want to see you spending all your life grieving and not going on with your life. Na wega kũngania kĩbarĩ na wĩtware na move on. Na ũndũ ũngĩ ũngĩrehe kĩrĩa ũrehaga mental challenges or mental illness kana stress na depression. Icio twaiorwa stress na depression na indo icio ingĩ, panic attacks, personality disorders hizo. Kuna watu wanakuwa mpaka na personality disorders, bipolar. Ũndũ ũngĩ ũtũmaga mũndũ akorwo na mathĩna macio ma meciria nĩ relationships. Maybe break up. Maybe you broke up with your fiancé 2 days to the wedding, or they left you at the altar, or it was just a normal breakup. Na ũndũ ũcio no ũgũkũ affect. Although you know, in a relationship you invest a lot of emotions. You invest time, you invest emotions, you invest everything that you have into that relationship because maybe you want it to work. So when you separate with your loved one, when you have a divorce or separation or breakup, or the loved one passes on, ũndũ ũcio nĩ ũtũmaga mũndũ agĩe na stress. It's a mental instability. Okorwo ndũrahota gũcope na ũndũ ũcio, you need help to cope with that breakup, that divorce, that separation. Koguo that is also something else that is causing stress amongst our people. Na ũndũ ũngĩ ũrako stress ni parents with special kids, ona nĩ makoragwo na a different form of stress. Tondũ rĩmwe nĩ tuonaga aciari angĩ makoragwo na children na ciana sina special needs makĩhingĩra ciana icio nyũmba. Nĩgetha hingĩre mwana ũcio nyũmba, that means he or she has not accepted that this kid has special needs. Koguo ndarenda nginya oneke nĩ andũ, koguo nĩkĩo mũhingagĩra nyũmba. Na nĩgetha akinye ha stage ya kũmũhingĩra nyũmba, that is one sign of stress. that that person is hiding from themselves and from the world. Riu nikio arahingira mwana nyumba nigetha atige gucoka kuonwo ni andu na ringi atige gucamba. Ndiyo niki gituma mahingire ciana nyumba, but still they need to ni mabataraga kwaririo na guteithio. You walk through the journey of having a special kid, for the moms with special kids, and for the moms that have special kids and they are not afraid or to show them off to the world. That one is a very special gift. Koguo kudos na muthie na mbere oro uguo. Undu ungi utuma muda kuona urehaga stress na ma depression ni peer pressure. Peer pressure iyo niyo ninete andu, niyo tumete andu ginya meyurage, niyo tumete andu ginya matuike addicts a joy na fagi. Peer pressure can be during childhood, teenage, adulthood, even where uraruta wira na andu arika riaku aria muceraga nao. The pressure that they are mounting on you, the kind of competition that you're having with your peers, iyo no itume ugie na stress, because maybe your peers seem to be going well in life. Mena magoro maikaraga hanini makagura makari meru ukaigua maica maria maraikara, no we na we ndungihota ni we ni urehinyanirie nigetha ufit into that class ya andu acio, na ugikinya handu remwo ni gufit thiini wa kirathi kiu ri. Most people ni magia na stress on marimo, they are not able to put up with the pressure from their peers. Koguo peer pressure nayo nitumaga andu magia na, and that is what I call unnecessary stress. When it's about peer pressure, I term it as very unnecessary, because why should you compete with anyone? The only person you should compete with is the person that you see when you look in the mirror. That is the only person you should be competing with. The person you see when you look at the mirror, that is the person you should be competing with. Any other competition is null and void. Koguo, stop competing with people. Compete with yourself. Be a better version of yourself. Be a better you than you were yesterday. That is the best and the healthiest competition ever. Nayo diga kuhe stress. Iyo itai kupea stress. Iyo diga kuhe mental instability. Iyo niyo the best form of competition. Because you will strive to be better than you are today. You strive to be better than you were yesterday. Na undu ungi utumaga andu makorwo na depression undu ungi utumaga andu makorwo na depression na ndauga ni children, ciana rimwe riria watwara mwana, not the special children with the special needs, the other kids, watwara mwana thukuru rimwe ugakora mwana ni acenjia, especially parents of teenage parents, aciari aria mena teenagers ni magia na stress, because this is a stage in a child's life that requires a lot of attention. Kogo, and at this stage kids are usually full of surprises. Uisiragia rimwe ni uturaga mwana thukuru ahinga thukuru karigo mwana ni uria wakwa kana ni guthia thire cukuru ngicenjanirio tondu that kid has completely changed. So when you feel like you cannot change that kid to be, kana hedia kwagia na call it communication breakdown, ndurahota communicate na mwana uyu nigetha akwire kiria kirathi through na mbere thini wa muturire wake, so the communication between you two is poor. Koguo ndurahota kwagia na mwana uyu, koguo ugakira ugeciria atiri maybe ni undu utekite uria kwagirire kana ndramia niki, yani uko tu hapo confused. Koguo aciari ni makona stress, rigi no uratwaire mwana cukuru arathi rigi ara drop muno performance, kana daranyua fagi no athi high school arabia kunywa fagi, arabia kunywa njohi, arabia kinya kugucia thigara, and you have no idea why the kid is doing that. That is a reason that makes parents have stress. Koguo generally when we talk about mental health ni wide, it's very wide. Iko na maundu maingi muno, iko na stress, iko na depression, iko na post traumatic stress disorder, there are panic attacks, there are anxiety attacks, there is the behavioral disorders like ADHD, but it's that issue. That's also an aspect of mental health for the kids and the mothers. There are so many mental health ni very wide, na niturigia na mundu urioka ataririe ni ndĩrethana na mũndũ ũrĩa ũkatũtarĩria in deep what exactly is mental health. I'm just trying kwaria from a layman's perspective what I think mental health is. Na hihi ungimenya atia mundu ni mentally unstable kana mundu ni athi through depression, mundu ni athi through stress, mundu ni akoretwo ni kiundu gikamugitira hinya. Njugaga nigetha ukorwo na stress kana depression ucemanagia na kiundu gikakugitira hinya, yani undu ucio ugagucinda hinya piu nginya ukona riu you're helpless, you just there, you're helpless. Na Ngai araguteithia ndukanakinya hau ha gutuika helpless tondu it's a very bad state. You know, I have been a victim of mental instability. Yeah, in high school I was a victim of mental instability, and that mental instability issue it happened when I was in Form 1, but up to when I was in Form 4 I was still suffering the effects of the stigma associated with mental instability. It's something that people need to talk about, and the bad thing is I just came to realize juicy that I was suffering from teenage hysteria. So I think teenage hysteria is a topic on itself. We'll get somebody to tell us about it, because I also need to know about the teenage hysteria thing, because that thing gave me a lot of stress. That thing made me hate life, made me hate myself. Science cia kumenya ati mundu ti mentally well when somebody all of a sudden starts withdrawing from friends and family and colleagues. You know that yani all of a sudden mundu athiaga out urahuraga thimu Friday akamuria mwiko njuke tarenda ona mamuhuria thimu ringi ona ndaroya. He or she just wants to stay alone. Na ukona mundu ni avoid activities iria endete. Okorwo ni endete clubbing, no longer he or she doesn't want to go clubbing. Okorwo ni endete football, all of a sudden from nowhere ukona ndarenda uguo ekaga, ndarenda guthaka football, ndarenda guthaka pool, guti undu areka, ndarenda nginya ku hang out. The activities iria arendete gwika no all of a sudden atiga kwenda gwika. Gukoma muno, gukoma kuru, ona kwa nyendete toro. Ni nyendete toro no gukoma kuru. Ate mundu urakoma toro wiho utarathira, toro kiho kina tari guthecwo ndawa. Kana oko ndurakoma muno ukaga toro, you just go to bed and you are tossing up and down, just tossing round and loud drone toro. Itagwa insomnia. Ukiko we kana mundu ungi ni araria muno makiria moyo uramenyerete kuyo kaigwa ora wasade na appetite yaku ni ayi ni yongerereka, you are eating too much or eating too little or not eating anything at all. Ono docio ti ni urariaga, yes, no riu ora wasade urambia kuria mairio maike tamaya njugwa makirio ni andu aya metagwa guruki mariago uguo ukiona ni raria muno kana ni waria tuyo tunini muno kana ukaigwa rimwe ikarite uguo, you feel hopeless. Yani wageria gwiciorwa muturire waku kaigwa riu gwika atia na thoro ti ndu ingika ri tigana ucio. Yani you feel like you want to give up on everything about you. You just feel hopeless. Ndu ndu raigwa kienda na ukorwo wina low energy, ukiro nogete, yani wokira ndu ti ndu raigwa gwika. You just tired for nothing. You're just tired. You don't want to do anything. You don't even want to think. You don't want to do anything. Gukoro ukihuthira mood altering substances. Hey, githogo ni kiritowe. When you find yourself using mood altering substances like alcohol, bang, cocaine, cigarettes, those drugs irio tarahuthagira tena no woro wathani ukaigwa ni renda wagia na urge ya kwenda kuhuthira indo icio. Undu ucio ngene feeling confused, duramya uria ugwika, you are just confused. Utukanirwo ni maundu mothe, uraigwa ureciorwa maundu mothe, everything at once. Guti undu urahota gwiciria wega, you are just there, you are just confused. You don't know where to go, whether to go right, left, back or forward. You just there confused. Gukoro utarahota kurikia daily tasks. Maundu urekaga muthenya. Tariu normally ukira uruge cai, uthambi indo, uthambi nyumba, uhure nguo. Ugakora wokira ndurahota, you are not able to do your daily tasks. Ndurahota kurikia. Ona rimwe ni ukora waruga cai, wahia waremwo ni kunyua, waingi wambia guthii guthambi indo ciarema tondu nduraigua kienda gwika undu. You are not able to finish your tasks. The other thing that is now the reddest, very red flag, the feeling of wanting to harm yourself or others. Ati ni wakinya handu kaigua ona ingikuanga niguo wega. That feeling, you feel so useless, you feel so worthless, ati uraigua ati ona ingikua ri, yani ushaijipata. Me, I have at one point in my life had such thoughts, and I'm like, of what use am I to the world? Those days when life was so cruel, when it was me against the world. So have you ever it's not even important to be alive. I don't think I add so much value to the world. Ona gukua ri ti undu muru. Kiona ukinyite handu ta hau kuga ati ona gukua ti undu muru. That is dangerous. You should seek help. Kana ukaigua lege as a mother murarora kana muthuri waku kana ndoya makurigiciri ukaigua tongi magera ngero tondu rigi urona tari cause ya mathina maku. That one is bad. Koguo ungigua ni urenda kwigera ngero kana ukaigua life is useless. If you ever reach a point where life is useless, talk to somebody. I would rather listen to your story than come for your funeral having committed suicide. People should learn how to share. There are people who hear voices when they are stressed. Voices. You can hallucinations, hearing voices from nowhere. And then there is sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis is another sign of stress. Maybe not for everybody, but for some, it's a sign of stress. Sleep paralysis nayo ni kindu kiki very scary. There is nothing as scary as sleep paralysis. Being Mental Health Month, I don't know how mentally healthy you are, but I would like you to be your brother's or your sister's keeper. Look out for those people close to you. Mundu agikira na dararia, you have not heard from a person that you used to hear from on a daily basis. Check up on them. You are not seeing them where you used to see them. Check up on them. Maundu maria murekaga nake ta guthaka mubira kana guthaka golf kana guthii guthaka pool dareka. Check up on them. This Mental Health Month, be your brother's keeper. Now, if you cannot avoid stress, avoid stressors. That has been my principle for the last few years. I realized that it is very hard to avoid stress, but it is very easy to avoid the stressors. So, avoid stressors if you cannot avoid stress. Ngai amurathime na mwike wega ni ngatho ni tondu wa kwirorera, and I hope you have a happy Mental Health Awareness Month. Now, if you have a problem, if you feel that you are stressed, talk to somebody, share with somebody, and own your story. God bless you.